Welcome to Breaking International News. Israel does not have the ability to destroy Iran's underground nuclear facility. Iran fires missiles again. Israelis seek safe haven. Iran's foreign minister arrives in Turkey amid conflict. Trump will not ask Israel to stop the attacks. 50 Israeli warplanes violated Iraqi airspace. Israel does not have the ability to destroy Iran's underground nuclear facility. Trump. U.S. President Donald Trump has commented that Israel does not have the ability to destroy Iran's underground nuclear facility, according to the Times of Israel. He made this comment while talking to reporters after arriving at Morristown Municipal Airport in New Jersey on Friday, June 20th. Trump said that Israel's capabilities are actually very limited. They may be able to destroy a small part of the Fordow, but they will not be able to go very deep. They do not have that ability, but they probably will not need to. He said that since Israel is currently on the path of victory, it is not easy for me to ask them to stop attacking now. If someone wins, it becomes difficult to ask them to stop attacking. But if someone loses, it is easy to ask them to stop. But we are ready to talk and are also talking to Iran. Let's see what happens. At that time, Trump claimed that Israel is doing better than Iran in the ongoing war. He said that when Israel is on the path to victory, it becomes difficult to stop them. Israel is doing very well in war, while Iran is relatively less successful. In response to a question, Trump said that Iran does not want to talk to Europe. At that time, he disregarded the possibility of success in the talks to resolve the dispute between Iran and European powers in Geneva. Earlier on Thursday, President Donald Trump said that he would take another 2 weeks to decide whether to directly intervene militarily against Iran. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said that Iran will not hold any talks with the United States during the attack by the occupying Israelis. The foreign ministers of Iran and several European countries met for talks in Geneva, Switzerland on Friday, June 20th. After the meeting, Iran said that they will not hold any talks with the United States while the attacks by the occupying forces are ongoing. In addition, Tehran also made it clear that before holding any talks, Israel must be brought to international justice for the heinous attack. Abbas Araghchi said that Iran is ready to consider a diplomatic solution again if the Israeli aggression stops and the aggressors are brought to justice for the heinous attacks carried out on Iran. He also said that Iran's nuclear program is being carried out for purely peaceful purposes. Attacks on these programs are a clear violation of international law. He also said that Iran will continue to exercise its right to self-defense. On Friday, Iraq accused Israel of violating its airspace at the UN Security Council. Iraq's representative to the UN said that 50 Israeli warplanes had violated Iraqi airspace just before the Security Council meeting. According to an Al Jazeera report, the chargé d'affaires of Iraq's UN mission, Abbas Kazem Abaid al-Fatlawi, called the incident a clear violation of Iraq's sovereignty and demanded effective action from the international community. Al-Fatlawi said the warplanes entered Iraqi airspace from the Syria-Jordan border area. In the first phase, 20 warplanes infiltrated, then another 30 warplanes advanced towards southern Iraq. He also said that the warplanes crossed the airspace of the cities of Basra, Najaf, and Karbala. He added that such airspace violations are a clear violation of international law and the UN Charter. He warned that such threats to holy places and territories could provoke a strong reaction among our people, because these religious sites are deeply connected to the history, culture, and identity of our nation. Iran fires missiles again. Israelis seek safe haven. The Times of Israel reported that the IDF has detected missiles launched from Iran. Israelis have already been told to take shelter and warned to take preventive measures. The report also said that sirens have already started sounding in areas where missiles are expected to hit. However, the IDF did not immediately say how many missiles were fired from Iran and where in Israel they might hit. Meanwhile, Iran has said that it will consider diplomatic talks if the Israeli forces' aggression on its territory stops. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said this after a meeting with top officials from France, Germany, the United Kingdom, and the European Union in Geneva on Friday, June 20th. On the same day, U.S. President Donald Trump said that he is unlikely to pressure Israel to reduce airstrikes in order to continue the talks. Trump said, "I think it's very difficult to make that request right now." On the other hand, Israel Defense Forces, IDF Chief Yal Zamir said that preparations for an attack on Iran had been underway for years and years. In recent months, preparations for the attack have been accelerated in strict secrecy. Israel launched a new attack on Iran on Friday. On the other hand, the number of people injured in an Iranian missile attack on Haifa, Israel, has risen to 23. 3 of them are seriously injured. The Israeli military said that Iran had launched 25 missile attacks in the latest. However, no one was injured in central and southern Israel in the attack. On the other hand, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has warned about the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel. In his opening speech at a UN Security Council meeting on Friday, he said, "The spread of this conflict could ignite a fire that no one can control." Iran's foreign minister arrives in Turkey amid conflict. Amid the ongoing conflict with Israel, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has arrived in Turkey to attend the Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC) summit. Al Jazeera reports. According to the state news agency Young Journalists Club, Abbas Araghchi has arrived in Ankara. More than 40 foreign ministers from around the world will participate in the summit. The meeting is taking place after Araghchi met with European counterparts in Geneva on Friday. Earlier, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is reported to have spoken to U.S. President Trump twice on the phone in the context of Israel's attack on Iran. In his speech on Friday, Trump seemed to be downplaying the possibility of putting pressure on Israel to stop its military operation against Iran. Incidentally, Israel has been attacking Iranian nuclear facilities since June 13th. In response, Tehran has continued to retaliate with drones and missiles. The retaliatory attacks have resulted in many casualties on both sides. Trump will not ask Israel to stop the attacks. At a time when European diplomats are strongly urging the United States to intervene to stop Israeli airstrikes in Iran, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that he will not ask Israel to stop the attacks. Al Jazeera News. In response to a journalist's question whether he will pressure Israel by responding to European leaders' calls to reduce the attacks and open the way for talks, Trump said, "Israel is winning now and they are doing very well. So it is difficult to say anything to the winning side in such a situation." That is, he will not intervene to stop Israel's ongoing attacks on Iran. Incidentally, Israel has been attacking Iranian nuclear facilities since June 13th. In response, Tehran has continued to retaliate with drones and missiles. Many people from both countries have been killed in these attacks. It is worth noting that the same picture emerges again and again when analyzing the political life and strategy of U.S. President Donald Trump. Whenever he is in danger, he hears the familiar deadline, 2 weeks. This is like a strange trick of Trump, which he uses to buy time in war, peace, diplomacy, trade, health policy, or any major crisis. Sometimes repairing relations with Russia, sometimes deciding to go to war on the Iran issue, sometimes making major announcements of domestic policy. In all cases, this 2 weeks policy of his is a bit of a political trick, with which he stops the media, the public, and the international community for a while. Then he starts playing his own game again. Al Jazeera, BBC, Washington Post. 50 Israeli warplanes violated Iraqi airspace. Iraq at UN. 50 Israeli warplanes violated Iraqi airspace, Iraq's representative to the UN said. They violated Iraqi airspace just before a meeting of the UN Security Council on Friday. On Friday, the chargé d'affaires of Iraq's UN mission, Abbas Kadum Abeid al-Fatlawi, informed the Security Council of their violation of airspace. Al Jazeera News. Abbas Kadum Abeid al-Fatlawi said that the planes came from the Syria-Jordan border area. He added that 20 planes entered first. Later, another 30 planes went towards southern Iraq. These planes flew over the cities of Basra, Najaf, and Karbala. He also stated that this violation of airspace is a violation of international law and the UN Charter. Abbas Kadum Abeid al-Fatlawi warned that such threats to holy places and areas could provoke a strong reaction among our people, because these religious sites are very important for our nation. Incidentally, Israel has been attacking Iranian nuclear facilities since June 13th. In response, Tehran has continued to retaliate with drones and missiles. Many people from both countries have been killed in these attacks.